you're welcome to Better Faith e-learning platform. I remain Mrs. Eunice Egwasa, and I'm going to be teaching social studies for basic 4 and primary 4 classes. Please settle down and pay attention. Good. The topic is drug abuse. Drug abuse. I'm sure you are very conversant with this topic, drug abuse. We've been on it for quite some time now. So what is drug abuse? Drug abuse simply means the use of drugs without or above the doctor's prescription. When you feel sick and you decide to take any drug that comes to your mind, you are abusing the drug. Or perhaps you've been to the hospital and you were told to take a certain dosage of that drug, but you decide to take above. So that is drug abuse. Sources of drugs. Where can we get these drugs that we are talking about? We have two sources of drug abuse, or two sources of drugs, two places where we can get these drugs, or two major sources. We have the small scale source and we have the large scale source. From the word small scale, when we say small scale, we are talking of a small size of a particular thing. We are talking of those little places where you can get these drugs in small quantity. Examples are hawkers, herbalists, petty traders, chemist stores, and etc. etc. So small scale sources of drugs, they are those places where you can easily get these drugs in small quantity. Like hawkers, those that sell things in the streets; herbalists, those that prepare herbs for people to take. You can get from petty traders, those people that trade in little items. You can get from chemist stores, a particular place where drugs are being sold. So those are all small scale sources of drugs. Then we move to the large scale sources. When we talk of large scale, we are talking of a place where you can get these drugs in bulk, in large quantities. We have examples as drug manufacturers, those that source of drug is the large scale source. The large scale is where you can get drugs in large quantity. Like the drug manufacturers, those that produce drugs, they are the ones that make this drug, that produces them. So they actually produce in large quantities. Then we have the drug traffickers. Drug traffickers, they are also another large scale of getting drugs, and so on and so forth. We have factors that contribute to drug abuse. What are the things that makes people to abuse the use of drugs? Number one is ignorance. Ignorance. When people are ignorant of the side effects of the use of drugs, they tend to abuse these drugs. When they don't know, if you don't know that taking too much of a particular drug is dangerous to your health, you will take the drugs. But if you are aware, you will not take. So ignorance is one factor that contributes to drug abuse. We have bad company. If you move with bad people, people that take drugs, people that do things that are bad, people that are into drug abuse, you will also abuse drugs. You also begin to act like them. You begin to also take drugs like them. So bad company, peer pressure, can also make people to take drugs in the wrong way. Number 3 is bad example from parents. There are some parents that are into drug abuse. They take drugs. So their children learn from them. When the children looks onto them, seeing them take drugs indiscriminately, they will think that is the norm. They'll think that is the right thing to do. And when they grow up, they also take drugs. For some persons that have parents that smoke, when they grow up, they are likely going to be smokers too. children that have parents that drinks, they'll also drink when they grow up, if not maybe the grace of God or maybe education that will make them know that it is wrong. So bad examples from parents can also be a factor that contribute to drug abuse. Unemployment, indolence. When somebody is not having a job to do, somebody doesn't have a place to go to, when you are idle, when you are just at home all the time, you don't have a place to go to. So that can also lead to drug abuse, because you're always at home, no place to go to, no job, nothing to fetch you money, you cannot help yourself, you cannot feed your family. That would make somebody to always take drugs, to feel good, to sleep, and that is a factor that contributes to drug abuse. Unemployment, when people that are supposed to be working do not have work, so that can cause drug abuse. Sales promotion or advertisement. Sometimes the producers of some drugs advertises their products and makes it cheap. They can also do sales promotion. When the purchases of these drugs, they are so cheap to purchase, you can easily buy them at a cheap rate. So people are likely going to abuse the drugs. It's a factor that also contributes to drug abuse, sales promotion or advertisement. Party attendance. People that always goes to party, they are likely to fall victims of drug abuse, because whatever they see people do there, that's what they also do. So these are some of the factors that contribute to drug abuse. What are the effects of abuse of stimulants on health? Effects of abuse of stimulants on health. What is a stimulant? A stimulant is anything which is taken into the body to make a person behave abnormally. A stimulant is anything which is taken into the body to make a person behave abnormally. Something that will hype you, something that will make you bold, something that will make you not to be ashamed, something that will make you to be active and lively, something that will make you stand and face the crowd. So those are examples of stimulants. What are the effects of the abuse of stimulants on health? Taking of things that will stimulate you into activity. What are the side effects, or what are the things that it can lead to? Number one, it could damage some organs of the body. Abuse of stimulants can lead to damage of body organs like the lungs, like the liver, the kidney, the brain. Number two, a child who takes stimulants will always be restless. A child that is always taking stimulants will be restless when there is no stimulants anymore. When the effect of the stimulant has expired, the child will want to have more. And because when it is not available, the child will be restless. Why? Because the stimulant is not available. So children that take stimulants always they are restless in nature. Another effect is that it leads to loss of appetite. Stimulants can close up our appetite. It can make someone not to feel hungry. It causes sleeplessness as well, which is known as insomnia. Stimulants can make someone not to be able to sleep, to suffer from insomnia. And normally, a human is supposed to observe sleep during the night. But people that take stimulants, they find it difficult to sleep at night. And that is an effect of abuse of stimulants on health. So these and some more are the effects of abuse of stimulants on health. Drug abuse. I said it is the use of drugs without or above the doctor's prescription. Sources of drugs. Where can we get these drugs from? We have the large scale. In Nigeria, we have large scale source and we have this small scale source. The small scale sources, they are the hawkers, herbalists, petty traders, chemist stores, etc. The large scale sources, they are the drug manufacturers, the drug traffickers, and so on and so forth. Factors that contribute to drug abuse, things that makes people to abuse the use of drugs. Number 1 is ignorance. Number 2 is bad company. Number 3 is bad examples from parents. Number 4 is unemployment. Number 5 is sales promotion or advertisement. Number 5 is party attendance. What are the effects? Effects of abuse of stimulants on health. Let's take a look at the effects of abuse of stimulants on health. I said a stimulant is anything which is taken into the body to make a person behave abnormally. These are things taken into the body to hurt you, to make you active or hyperactive. Stimulants makes people to be bold, not to be ashamed, makes people to perform maximally. And what are the effects? The effect is that, number 1, it could lead to damage of some organs of the body like the brain, the lungs, the kidney, the liver. Number 2, a child who takes stimulants will always be restless when there is no stimulant to be taken. Number 3, it leads to loss of appetite. The stomach is filled up and you don't want to eat anymore. Number 4, it causes sleeplessness, which is also known as insomnia. So these are some of the effects of abuse of stimulants on health. Please always read your books over and over and over again. This time we are going to be dwelling on drug abuse extensively. So for today we are going to make do with this package that I've just given to you. So we have some practice exercises. You have some questions here. Number 1, please put down, what is drug abuse? What do you understand by the word drug abuse? Number 2, you have to state 2 sources of drugs. Number 3, you have to list 4 effects of abuse of stimulants on health. Number 1, what is drug abuse? 2, state 2 sources of drugs. 3, list 4 effects of abuse of stimulants on health. Please practice these questions and always read your books. Thank you very much.